Thousands of gun rights activists are gathering in Richmond, Virginia. The rally is an annual event, part of a Virginia tradition known as Lobby Day. But this year, authorities have been concerned about the possibility of violence. The governor has even declared a state of emergency. CBS News correspondent Nikole Killion is there in Richmond and joins us now. Hi, Nikole. So tell us what the scene there is like. What's motivating these protesters? And is there any sign of the concerns that the state government had for the potential of violence?
Oh, well, at this point, the scene is pretty quiet here where we are. We're a few blocks away from the Capitol, but the rally, in effect, is over. So at this point, folks are starting to leave the Capitol grounds. They'll take buses back home. Many of them took buses from various parts of the state to get here today. But look, I talked to a couple of folks who were at the rally who said overall, they feel good about what happened, that, really nothing happened. And again, that was a good thing. And really that this was just a show and a demonstration against the governor's gun proposals. And this is also a legislative package that's being pushed by the Democratic majority here in Virginia. And so for many of these gun owners, they feel that that's treading on their Second Amendment rights. In terms of this legislative package, we're talking about things like universal background checks, limiting citizens to one handgun purchase a month, giving local governments greater authority to ban weapons in certain public places. And so that is what a lot of these folks are upset about. They disagree with it, and so they came out in force to make their voices heard. Again, we've talked to local authorities, and for the most part, we're told there have been no arrests, that there has been no violence as of now, although just before this live shot, we did have some people walking by with their guns in hand and rifles, and we have seen, while those folks were not allowed on Capitol grounds today, many of them were here on the streets of Richmond, and even in spite of that, thus far, no confrontations.
Well, that's a good thing that it was a peaceful rally. Looking at the overall issues that the protesters there were concerned with, was there any discussion of sort of the subtleties within, gun control regulation? Because it isn't very often an all or nothing proposition, right? There are different variations of gun control laws, and I think very few people are suggesting that, guns be outright banned. So was there any discussion of the subtleties of these sorts of regulations?
Well, I think from the standpoint of this legislative package, we've already seen some of these measures start to make their way through the legislature, through the Senate side. What we haven't seen yet is the governor's package come through on the House side, though we expect that could happen sometime later this month. I will note that certainly one of the measures that has sparked the greatest concern is a ban on assault weapons. And so we did see that measure in particular killed on the Senate side just last week. It's possible it could be brought up again on the House side, but possibly modified. And again, that's certainly been one of the bigger nuances or issues of concern, both among gun rights supporters and gun safety advocates.
All right. Well, Nikole Killion in Richmond, thank you so much.